sound. All right, so you guys should be getting sound now. Let me know if you're not getting sound. Goodness sakes. I am hoping to heck you can hear me. Let me know. Sound. It says I have sound. I'm at 7 decibels up. Let me know if you're getting sound. If not, let me see if you got sound. Sound. Hello, hello. Any sound coming through, guys? Yes. Okay, good. All right, sound is good. Whew. That was nerve-wracking. All right, yeah. So you know. So welcome everybody. Let me see. I'm gonna get myself basically where I need to be. I'm wearing shorts today, so don't look at my knees. And I haven't gotten a tan. I have a metal string guitar. That's never a good sign. Is that going to be about right in your speakers? Let me know if that sounds okay in your speakers. I have the microphone set the way we would have set it tonight if you all were here. I'm putting it on 360 sound, so theoretically you can hear me just fine, and then imagine the Denver Guitar Orchestra sitting back there and also being able to hear them in the background. That way you'll be able to hear them and play along with them, but you won't have to look at them because they will feel, we don't want to make them feel like movie stars quite yet. They're pretty darn good at what they do, and we don't need that attitude going on. So there's that. Let's see. Christy is in. Vic is in. Pauline made it in. Okay, so it's okay. Good. Now, normally, guys, I do apologize. We were going to meet here today. The Wi-Fi was acting crazy today. We had to call the guy and everything, and so it was terrible. So I decided, you know what, I can't depend on the Wi-Fi. I don't know if the guy's going to get it fixed. He did get it fixed. It's working perfectly fine now. So we'll find out tonight if that it's going to work. I have a small light here to light me up, and again, the lighting is iffy, and it changes about this time of day anyway. So we'll see how that works. Also, the microphone I'm using here is not near the quality of the one I use in the studio at the house. So we just want to make sure that you can play along and at home. And then when we actually get everybody down here, I won't actually be playing a guitar. It'll be 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. We might try that on one of the simpler songs tonight and just see how it's going. Little bit of static. Okay, that's not what we want. If you hear a little bit of reverb, that's the ideal, but static's not so good. If you keep hearing that static, Linda, I have a couple of other settings I can do this microphone at. This is the one I want to use, and so we'll see how that goes. It's too hot to leave. Christy's right. It is 100 degrees here. Now, for those of you who live in the South, you're like, whatever. But for those of us in Colorado, we're pretty sure that there's an environmental emergency going on. Yeah, that was the other thing, is they don't have the swamp coolers, not all of them running properly here, and so this building is hot as heck. Right now, they finally got one of them turned on in here, so it's not quite as bad as it was before, but it's pretty tough. So, yeah, Linda, let me know if you continue to hear that static, because I do want to, I can mess around with the microphone and see if it makes any difference. Let's see. And Evelyn says, hey, more technical challenges. And Dick is in. Hey, Dick. Also, guys, on the website it says that you're supposed to also have a song called "In My Life." You shouldn't have that. I haven't even started on it. We, it's just been, this business of getting out of the pandemic and up and running again has been way harder than do it the other way. The other way was, well, we can't bring anybody down. I guess I'll start broadcasting on YouTube. I bought a microphone. I didn't even buy a microphone, if I remember. I don't remember what I bought. Did I buy anything? I just plugged microphones in and started strumming on the YouTube, and that was that. But this thing about getting everything back up and running and keeping everything floating and all, it's just been crazy. So I do apologize. It's definitely weird right now, but we're going to settle into a system that's going to be great. For those of you who weren't in any of the earlier classes, this is Historic Grant Avenue Sanctuary. This was one of the biggest Methodist church in Denver back in 1915, 1917. It was built right at the turn of the century. It's just an absolutely stunning room. The acoustics in here are unbelievable. Normally, the preacher would be standing right where I am talking to the congregation back there, and you can hear somebody speaking in a normal voice like this, clear as a bell, right all the way back to the picture of Jesus. This is Jesus right here. He's keeping an eye on us. And you can hear plain as day. Like, you don't even have to speak up, and you can hear it back. The acoustics in here are phenomenal. And we've done several two guitar concerts in here, and then about 5 ukulele concerts in here. And it's my favorite place in all of the city to do a concert, because it's not like these giant churches they make today where you have to microphone everything, and it's not like those old churches with too much marble in that echo. It's just got this nice warm round sound, and it may or may not be picking up in the microphone, I don't know, but I'm delighted that we get to use this space. So hopefully next week I'm going to be here every day this entire week. I'm going to hopefully be cranky enough to get the swamp cooler situation solved. I'm going to be checking on Wi-Fi continuously, and so hopefully next week you will have the actual orchestra people here in the room, and it won't be 100 degrees Christy, so you'll be able to get out of the basement. Of course, I'm also fighting the fact that I shouldn't have a guitar in my hand, and now I have to, and I'm sitting on a stool and it's showing my knee. I should have put pants on, and everything's crazy. So let's fix that by playing some guitar music, right? And I'm going to move, now that I know I look fine-ish, I'm going to pull up our list, and I sent out the song, I've Just Seen a Face. So let's pull that up, and if you don't have it, you don't have it. That's perfectly fine. I'm not going to go through it in detail, but I want to just talk about a few things about it, and so if you'll pull that up first, and if you don't have I've Just Seen a Face, toss me an email and I'll toss it back to you. You guys will remember that I am being a little bit protective of our level 4 music. I'm just wanting to make sure that you're using it in the appropriate way, which is for us, and not turning it into something you can post all over the internet. These are pretty nice arrangements, and it's not that I don't begrudge anybody using them, but I just don't want them to be floating around everywhere for free forever, right? And so that's what I got going on. But I have no problem with sending you a copy of it to work on at your house. Now, I gotta fix this, and I will get my act together here shortly. All right. Now, on this piece of paper, obviously we start off in B minor, and you have just a little bit of, that doesn't sound right. There we go. So the first chord, B minor, goes to G, goes to A7, and goes to another A7, and then I've just seen a face I can't forget, this time or place where we just met. She's just the girl for me. All I want the world to see. Now, the weird part about this song, look how many measures you've got of D. 1, 2, 3, 4, right? And then finally you get around to a B minor, and you do 4 beats and 4 measures of that, and then you finally get into a little bit of song here. I want the world to see what we've just met. 2, 3, 4. You finally get into some chords, and then it goes So, and he really does that in the recording. Okay, so when you're working on this on your own, just know that G goes two full measures of G, and then you got to get after it, right? Right. So, and it's I positively can never figure out why songwriters put in things like but they do. The Beatles are notorious for it. So you have that going on. Just know that those 4 chords there at the end of page 1, 4 chords are. You're busy being lazy as all get out, and then all of a sudden you have to work really hard to get out of those chords. And then page 2, actually even easier, right? Falling, yes I am falling, and she keeps calling me back again. The G7 is there. I have not played it one time yet. I'm just playing G straight through there, calling me. I guess you can put it in. Back again. It might sound a little more Beatlesy if you use a G7, but anytime I have a G go into a G7, I just ride straight through with the G. It's lazy, but it's also the truth. You don't need to do the G7. So that's the chords. So not a ton there. Here's what I think is interesting. The melody itself is also meant to be pretty fast. You see I set the meter up at 180. So you want to be boogieing through the song. That's not even fast enough, right? So be thinking about if you were going to take this song on, that you want to play it fast. I would say page 2 you could slow it down quite a bit, because I think that the words and the melody lends to that. Falling, yes I am falling, falling. That's how you say it. Falling. That's really, the fall is it feels like 2 syllables, but you're just bending your vocal, right? Yes, I am falling. And then you go clear up to 10. And she keeps calling me back. That's that G7 that I keep not playing in when I'm singing it. It shows up in the vocal line. Me back again. That's where the G7 shows up, and that's really why if you're playing chords you don't need to worry about it. The vocalist is going to get the 7th of the G, or if you're playing melody, the melody player is going to get it, so you don't need to really spend a ton of time on that. I think that the Tough Uke is as factory issued as you could possibly want to have it. You hold that D chord, and there's a little bit of modification through it in measures 5 through 8, and then hold the B minor through the that B minor section. If you'll put it on, there's a couple of places where you'll lift the bar up to get to the 4/4-3s. Am I on this correctly? I'm not. But then that bar comes. The bar will be used for a couple of melody notes. There, measure 11, you got to squish it up to the melody up to the 3 on the first string. But overall, there's not. It's the Tough Uke or Tough Axe line. If you look through it, I arranged around every weirdness that there was, right? So the second page has the potential to be the most weird, but really, you're going to grab this A chord, and then the rest is melody. So it's all standard open chords for the most part, except that B minor, and it shouldn't be a major deal to get it up to speed. So next week we will work on this one for sure, and you play it 3 times through, and then on the second time through you do measures 23 and 24 are identical to 25 and 26. So all I did was change the the accompaniment a little bit. Instead of a D chord going up and then down, I made it going down, down, and then come up to your high D to wrap up the song. But so, in other words, you're going to play through the song 3 times, okay? Now, very quickly, I want to talk about the intro because that's what's kind of interesting about this song. I watched, so he played it, you know, obviously as a young man, and then there's a couple of videos of him older, and of course all he's doing is strumming and singing, but the guys that are with him are doing kind of interesting things. So and everyone did it a little bit different. So I took that as carte blanche to do whatever the heck I wanted with this, and I thought, you know, just a nice sweet little arpeggio in here is going to work. And I started with the high B minor, and you've got. So think of it as all eighth notes, and then the last note in each measure in measures 1 through 4 is a quarter note, so you have a little bit of time to get to your next chord. A7, just put your finger down, and then add the 5. And if you listen to a few of the different versions of it, that's not that far off from whatever they did, and it's fairly easy to do, and it sounds kind of cool. Your goal would be to bum ba da 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 ba da 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 dum ba da 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 dum ba da 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 dum ba da 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 dum ba da 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 dum. I've just seen a face I can't forget, the time or place where we just met. Okay, so that's what you're going to be working on there. I think for a Beatles tune, this is super easy to play compared to some of the other stuff we'll be dealing with tonight. So if you have any questions, obviously send me a note, but in 1965, still one of their earlier pieces, and definitely you know, classic Beatles. Oh, I saw this pretty girl, and I just can't forget her, you know, kind of thing. So let me know if you have any questions on that, but I think you could probably sit down and play it right now, and you'd be just fine. Let's go ahead and grab While My Guitar Gently Weeps. Let's get the toughie out of the way here, and let's play a little bit. All right. I'm going to have to do the horizontal thing here. This guitar will not let me do. If you see my thumb today, don't think less of me. All right, from the top. It's just too hard to hold this without a strap. 1, 2, 3, 4. Six, 7, 7, 9. Gary, page 9, and then go. Christy she wrote, I'm way ahead of you in time. When I speak here is about 45 seconds before it actually shows up at your house. And Christy just wrote, not at 180, meaning that the previous song ain't going to happen at 180, right? I think that's what she means. Let's see. So, that was a nice warm-up. Let's go see if we can actually play it this time. While my guitar gently weeps one more time, that I kept thinking, what is this? What is this? What is this? It's obviously been a while since I worked on this one very well. All right, now I'm having a terrible time trying to figure out where to hold everything. Okay, whew. Let's try it again. Oh, Marianne is here. Good to see you, Marianne. Marianne was going to stop. Marianne stopped by. Joni stopped by. Everybody was eager and excited to get together tonight, and I do apologize. Right now, I'm about 1,000 degrees in this room. The air, one of the 3 swamp coolers is on in here, so that isn't ideal. And at every minute, about every 10 seconds, I'm checking the internet connection to see if I'm actually still online. So it's better that you're at home. Let's play it again. It's bad because you have to listen to me play, but hopefully you're just killing it, right? And you're busy going, Carrie, hurry up. Let's get this going. Okay. Again, nice and slow. 1, 2, 3, 4. page. Back to 9. Keep going. Measure 51, there's a fermata there. I'm so busy trying to get my D chord on and my pinky on to get this on that I forget that I'm supposed to let that ring for a minute. So when we get together, we will actually have a fermata there. So I've got a giant arrow on it. I'm going to put one more giant arrow on it. Hey, Gary, fermata there. So if you haven't marked that fermata, I know because I am missing it every single time. We're going to put that sucker in. And so there's that. Christy says, different guitar makes a big difference. You're not on your baby classical. Isn't it interesting? Every guitar sounds amazing. Right? I mean, after, above about $150, right? They all sound great, but they are every bit as individual as people are. Like, this guitar sounds amazing in here. I'm not playing it well, but it is absolutely like, oh my gosh, somebody should own this thing. Somebody should come down and get this. This thing is absolutely lush in the sound, but man, I'm just, because it's not my usual guitar, I'm fighting it like crazy. Plus, I'm sitting on a stool, which isn't ideal in the whole thing. I would make a terrible coffee shop gig guy, wouldn't I? All right, let's see. What else were we supposed to play tonight? Halfway through already. Can you imagine 32 minutes? It zips on by. Yellow Submarine, Octopus's Garden. Well, that'll take up a little while. So let's go, let's go take a look at that guy. So this was new-ish, right, last week, and or 2 weeks ago, and it's a lot. Okay, how many pages did we decide? 5 pages. Yeah, 5 pages of music. So I think the thing with 5 pages of music, when I'm writing those out, I'm not necessarily thinking of this as a solo piece, right? I'm really thinking of this as an orchestra piece. When it gets that long, you're like, you know what, this is going to be a lot of work. But if you're somebody who's like, you know what, I'm wanting a signature piece. I want a guitar piece. When somebody says, hey, play me something on guitar, that they're going to be trapped for 5.5 minutes while I play Yellow Submarine and Octopus's Garden. This could be a real dynamic and exciting piece for somebody, right? And I just noticed Linda wrote, my guitar is weeping, but not necessarily in a good way. Yes, Linda, that's the way a guitar weeps, and it is a good way. Don't let your guitar talk you into thinking that you're the problem. The guitar, please. This thing, if he'd stop making so many mistakes, that'd sound pretty good. So in other words, when you're thinking of Yellow Submarine, Octopus's Garden stuck together, I'm thinking, you know what, probably going to have some people play some chords, some people play some melody. We'll probably toss in a bass line and maybe a couple of arpeggios. It'll turn out to be great. So that's what I think. But you're thinking, you know what? I grew up with the Beatles. I like the Beatles. I like Yellow Submarine. I like Octopus Garden. I'm going to memorize this thing. And if you do, I mean, honestly, you got 5 pages. It's going to take you 5.5 minutes to play this song, even after you have it memorized. That's a good piece of music, right? And you go into a coffee shop, there's a guitar sitting over in the corner, it hadn't been tuned up all week. You pick it up, you straighten it up, you kind of mess around with it a little bit, and then you play this, and people will be like, man, that guy really knows how to play guitar. Or that girl, right? All right, nice and slow. We got repeats all over the place on this thing. I'll try to talk you through them as best I can. And let your guitar weep on this one. 1, 2, 3. Time to the top, 2 more times. Last time to the top. Measure 5, measure 6. And this is hard to remember, right? And you just got to get after it. And then let it go. And now you back up to measure 6 and 1, 2, 3, 4. To the second ending. So measure 24. And then last time to measure 6, ready, play. Into 25. The reason that A7 is so important is your audience thinks you're done, right? But you're not, and they know you're not because you drop an A7 on them. And they're thinking you're going to finish the song, which you could. You could just put another D chord on the end and be done with it. Or you could do what we're going to do. 1, 2, 3, 4. Back to 27. To 35. Page 4. Okay, go all the way back to 27 and go. Keep going forward. Page 5. So I missed one repeat. I realized that I was already like busy just playing along. That top measure 27 through 32, you're supposed to do it twice the second time as well. Normally you just blow through it once, but so I did miss one repeat. So we'd still be playing if we played it all exactly as written. So that seems like a long song. Again, as I'm looking through this thing, another relatively playable one. It's not easy by any stretch of the imagination, but it's definitely something that, especially if you can get the Octopus's Gardens up a little bit faster than I was playing it. I'm still sort of fishing my way through it just a little bit. Not ideal by any stretch of the imagination, but the song comes out. And so if you could get those B minors, they're not jumping onto my guitar tonight because of the weird way of holding it, but if you can get those B minors on quickly enough, you should be able to pick up this pace on that. It's set at 160. You probably never played at 160, but maybe 140, 130. I'd like to be 2, 3, 4, 1 under the sea. You know, that's faster than we usually play most stuff. But as a soloist, if you can get it up to there, man, people are going to be like, they're going to come to you and be like, I need to spend time with you because you're awesome. And so yeah, I think, wow, that's a really nice piece of music. Let's see. Yeah, Linda says this one worked for me. Lovely arrangement. So the guitar made her weep, and then the next one's like, yeah, this one's fine. So yay, that's exciting, Linda. For those of you, some of you may or may not know this, Linda is from Vancouver, so she's Canadian, and she is. Somebody loaned her a guitar. She's like, okay, and so she's up there playing on a guitar she borrowed from somebody, and killing it apparently. So good for you, Linda. Glad you're here. All right, yesterday That's what we're doing next, right? That's it for today, probably. Yesterday. Now, if we have a minute or two at the end, we'll try playing through. I've just seen it face, but this takes a little while too. This is the one that you want to get, right? This is the one for the Beatles. In terms of people will be like, oh, I know that. I love that. But the only problem with yesterday is everybody does it. And so it's okay I mean, it's the one everybody wants to be able to play, and probably it's worth your time to spend getting pretty comfy with it. But like I say, everybody plays this one, and so you're always being compared to somebody else, and that's why sometimes you gotta go for something a little bit weirder. And I do apologize. I'm dancing around on this stool like an idiot, and I am gonna find a comfy place. Yeah, remember when you started playing guitar? I see this all the time in classes. Students come in. They always have a dreadnought. This one, right? Gigantic, ginormous, and then they're usually like 5'3" women, and they're like, there's no way she's gonna be able to hold that guitar. I'm sitting here, 5'10", a male, and I'm fighting this guitar like nobody's business. So, and I know how to hold a guitar. So yeah, that says a whole lot about the size of your machine. I would say if you should probably be about 6'2" or more to have a full-size dreadnought. That's my general belief in that. And of course, if you go to Guitar Center, what's the kid going to sell you, right? There's some 18-year-old boy who likes electric guitar, and you're like, I'd like to buy an acoustic guitar. And he says, okay, come over here. I'll show you what you have to have. And he shows you the Martin Dreadnought, and it's $3,000. And you're like, I don't want to spend that much. I'd like to spend $500, please. And he takes you over to the Yamaha Dreadnought, and you're like, are you sure this is the right size for me? And it doesn't occur to you, but you say, are you sure this is the right guitar? And he's like, yeah, it's $500. It's great guitar. And you're like, okay, and so you buy it. And then you realize, after you've been playing about a year, that you had no business owning a Dreadnought guitar. And I'm living proof of that right now. All right, here we go. Most people should be playing a parlor guitar. Parlor guitar was the big guitar up until about 1925 when Martin decided, hey, we need a dreadnought, we need a gigantic guitar. And of course, men who were larger were like, yeah, thank goodness we finally got a guitar that's big enough for it. And of course, they made big guitars to be played in bands. But you as a solo player, you don't need to kill yourself. Go get a parlor guitar, a 7/8 size, a 3/4 size, something, maybe not a 3/4 size, but 7/8 size, parlor size guitar. Those are just absolutely lush and wonderful. And the way they make them these days, they sound really good too. So, all right, yesterday. It's kind of hard. Let's see what we can do with it. Down to measure 7, come back to the top, down all the way down to measure 15, come all the way back to the top, and then play all the way down to the bottom, right? Yes. What is my note on this repeat? Oh, the forward repeat is not real. Oh, and remember, when you get to the bottom of 15, you got to be ready for yesterday right away, right? So it's almost like the pickup is the first measure, and that seems weird. Linda says, I am playing a parlor. I am holding it almost like Yo-Yo Ma holds his cello. Ergonomic for me. Yeah, so here, and we've talked about this in Intro to Guitar, but it is important, guys. This is the wrong way to hold the guitar, but you see all kinds of cowboys and all kinds of older folk music guys sitting on a chair holding their guitar this way. Their thumb is way up here. These are tortured finger shapes that they're doing, and then you're thinking, well, maybe I should do that. And I was watching some show the other night, a guitar player on there, heck of a guitar player, running his thumb all the way up and down here, using it to hold this string down. That's what electric guitar, in electric guitar we teach that, but that's why I don't teach electric guitar, because I can't stand looking at people's thumbs. This is, 100% about this is wrong, right? But holding it like Yo-Yo Ma holds his cello, right about here, this here. This is the way God, he's back there, intended you to play guitar. Okay? It's so much easier when you're at a 50, 60 degree angle, and you know, you've got some support. If you're sitting down on your lap, that's going to be so much better ergonomically. So yeah, all right, let's make this happen. 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, let's see. I'm just picking random frets. One more time. 1, 2, 3, 4. 6, 5, 7. 6, 5, 7. What do we do here? 5, 6, 7. 6, 5, 7. Oh, okay. So what are we really playing? It's a bar. Oh, it's really the C shape on 5. The C shape on 5. Why didn't I just arrange it that way? C shape on 5. It's a C shape on 5. Let's play that. All right. Yeah, yep. Christy's like, yeah, we already been through this. The C shape on 5. Christy and I have done a bunch of duets together over the years, and small groups and played large groups, all this stuff, and she knows exactly what I'm like. I have this blank stare on my face. She's like, I better jump in and help him, or we could be an hour here. From the top. I know how to play this song. 1, 2, 3, 4. Measure 8. Six and all 7. back up to the top. Chord. All right, guys. So next week, we're going to root for being here in the sanctuary. If you want to reserve a Beatles song for the December concert, let me know sooner rather than later. It can be a solo, it could be a duet, it can be a trio, it could be a quartet. After that, you're probably talking about a full arrangement for the orchestra. If you want to grab a Beatles tune and arrange it for the orchestra, and we'll give it a shot, please give that some thought if you're in that mode. Those of you guys that are newer or getting used to Gary, I have really, I'm not trying to be a great guitarist. What I'm trying to be is a good teacher to make you a better guitarist. And so wherever you're at, I just kind of want to push you up to that next level and the next level and the next level. And the levels go basically, learn to hold the darn thing, learn to tune the darn thing, learn to play a melody on the darn thing, learn to play some chords on it, learn to play some chords and some melody. Then work your way all the way through up until about book 4. And then at book 4 is like, hey, why don't you write an arrangement, and then why don't you write 2 arrangements, and then why don't you write an arrangement for a small group, and then why don't you develop a solo, and then so there are all these steps, and Christy, as far as long as anybody, is like probably at this point where she should be starting her own guitar studio because she's done basically everything, and then at that point I'm like, all right, so now we got to start teaching her how to teach, kind of thing, right? But there's always steps, and all of you are at some step on that process, and whatever kind of help you need or would like to have or think you need, don't feel like I ever pressure you, right? There's no pressure to do any of this. It's completely voluntary. But if there's any way I can support you in that, that's what I want to do. As you guys know, I'm going to be going back to school for guitar, but not really. I'm really going back to school for composing and arranging and conducting and that sort of stuff. But there'll be a lot of guitar in there, and so anything that I'm learning that I can steal and give to you guys, I want to be able to do that too. So hope you're playing well. Hope you're happy with where you're at. There are 2 things that I know require of you. to become a good guitar player is, one, practice a little bit. Then you're on level, you're on book 4. This stuff isn't just going to happen. You watch me struggling with it because I haven't spent enough time with it. And I wrote it, right? So there is some practice, some daily picking up that guitar, and every other day at least if you can. At this level, you really do have to spend some time with it. The other thing is showing up, and that's the hard one. And I'm trying to make it as easy as I can by keeping this going and by getting it set up where we can meet in person and all of that stuff. But playing with other people and showing up to lesson or showing up to the YouTube thing or whatever it is, that sort of stuff just keeps pushing you and giving you new ideas and sort of holding you a little bit accountable to yourself for doing the things you need to do to become a guitar player. So if you would live here in town, I definitely want you to start thinking about Tuesday nights at Grant Street for 7 to 8. We may end up going to 8:30 if we intend to really put on a concert, but we'll see how that goes. We'll start with an hour and see how we all feel. And it's got to work for you as well as for me, and so we'll find a way to make that happen. And then thank you all for being here. I think we have really, really good music, and I would be really excited to put on a legit 2-hour concert with 18 of these songs, 16 of these songs in it. Some of you being a solo, some of you playing in large groups, some of you playing in small groups, and all centered around this Beatles stuff. And then I think that'd be a great way to get back together and just start feeling good again. And I've now learned a whole bunch that I knew I would learn. I think you always try to get everything thought through before doing something like this. So I've learned a whole lot about what not to do and what to do here. And one is get the doggone air conditioning on if it's 100 degrees outside. And two is complain about the Wi-Fi until it starts working. And then, of course, it's too late to tell you guys it's working. So God willing and the creek don't rise, you'll be here next Tuesday, or if you're out of town, you will be right here on YouTube, and we will do exactly the same thing. There'll be way less of Gary playing and way more of your peers playing, and I think it'll sound pretty cool. So there we go. Let's see. Vic says, lots of work and lots of fun. Yay! Yeah, it doesn't have to be fun, right? But it does have to be worth it, and I do think it's worth it. Let's see. What a trigger. Thanks again. You're welcome, Evelyn. Nancy, good to see you. Nancy says, I don't know if I'm ready to come down. And I says, yes, you are. So, yeah, it doesn't matter how good you are to come. You don't have to be. The orchestra's set up for all these different levels. So, yeah, you don't have to be at any particular level to come to orchestra. You just have to be willing to try. So yeah, come on down next Tuesday, Nancy. Pauline, great selection. Yeah, good songs tonight, right? Marianne, good to see you. Christy, playing in the basement is easier than playing in person. It turns out that if your cat is your #1 fan, you're probably really seriously good. That's another thing with showing up with other people, right? The same thing I'm dealing with is showing up to my stupid lessons with my guitar teacher. There's a level of accountability, and you're just like, oh, I hate this part. Because in your mind, you want to be better than you are, and that will never change, right? Pat Metheny said that one time, some nights he goes out and he wishes he'd never left his basement. And you're just like, well, if that's happening to that guy, it's definitely happening to me. So, yeah, absolutely. No one knows if I'm not in sync, Christy says. Christy, if anybody that I know that's in sync, it's probably you. All the rest of us are just sort of in the neighborhood. So, all right, you guys, have a wonderful week. Tomorrow night we have Book 1, 2, 3 and classical guitar. We had to cancel it last week because of Henry, and so this week we are back on. I will be broadcasting from my bedroom, which will feel a lot better than broadcasting here, I hope. And so come check that out. Book 1, I think we're up to Row, Row, Row Your Boat. Book 2, I can't remember what song we're on. I think it's one of the A songs. I think it might be the racist one. And then I know Book 3, we're playing really nice stuff, and the classical songs are pretty interesting and pretty challenging. Different way of playing, different way of thinking. So if you're not doing anything, definitely swing by for Books 1, 2, 3 and classical tomorrow night. All this stuff just makes you a little bit better. So have a wonderful night. If you didn't hit the thumbs up, hit the thumbs up, because I get, I don't know, they send me free guitars or something. And then if you're subscribed to the YouTube channel, please if you're logged in, please subscribe. We got to get another couple hundred people in, and then suddenly they start, shipping me Teslas and stuff. And then that's it. That's all I know. Have a wonderful night, you guys. I'll see you soon. Peace. Beatles starting at the top. Yes, Christy. Beatles starting at the top. Yes, exactly right. Thanks. Now, really, peace. Double peace.